Gold-minded records, they're not your friends.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's almost midnight, so pucker up your lips, ladies. 20 seconds to go. 20, 19, 18,
17, 16, 15, 14, 13,
12, 11, 10, 9,
8,
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to Horror Headquarters, a weekly horror podcast. I'm your host, Klive Kraven, with my lovely co-host,
Naya Banks.
We are here to bring you the best in all things horror. News, reviews, updates, interactive polls, discussions, interviews, and more. Stay tuned and stick around as we take on the horror genre. From the rotting graves of zombies to the blood-soaked fangs of vampires. From the claws of the werewolf to the vision of the apparition. Prepare for the slaughter orders. This is Horror Headquarters. We're just dying to talk horror. That's right, it is 2018, and this is the first episode of the year. And I'm getting over a cold that I'm still dealing with, so I might sound a little funny. I am stuffy as a bitch. But anyway, without ado, we are here. And this is episode 10, our New Year's special, including our top 10 of 2017. I am your host, Klive Kraven, with my lovely co-host.
It's Naya, guys.
That's right. And we are here to give you and deliver a brand new episode of Horror Headquarters. We have a lot to talk about. We're going to go through our bone-breaking news, of course. We have the Vital Organs discussion, where we're going to talk about 25 movies that we watched in 2017. And then we're going to get into our poll of the week and the results from last week, and then obviously our final chapter. We will be skipping several segments this week just to make room on the show because it was too much content. We wanted to trim it down a little bit and focus more on the New Year element with this one. So that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to go over these 25 films, give our top 10s afterwards, and then obviously the polls. So before we get into that, we're going to hit you with another segment, so don't go nowhere. We'll be right back in just a moment. This is Klive Kraven and
Naya Banks.
reporting live from Horror Headquarters. Our news department is making a killing to bring you the latest
Bone-breaking news.
Alright, we are back, and of course this is your bone-breaking news. We have a few interesting news stories this week, some very dope stuff coming your way, so let's go ahead and get right into it without any other waiting. First up, Sleepaway Camp 4, The Survivor, gets a final cut version released on Blu-ray. So essentially what happened here is this film has been recompiled and is set to hit Blu-ray at some point in 2018, some point this year. We don't know exactly when yet. Some cover art has been released, I've seen, and it looks like an independent distributor and fan that actually put this film together and used the 30 or 40 minutes from the original footage that they had, the test footage, and compiled it with some segments from the sequels parts 2 and 3, and essentially made this new film. So I'm very interested to actually see it. A lot of it was filmed, I believe, in the early 90s. So it's right around the time that, they should have, actually had this film coming out. So it's going to have that vibe, I would assume, especially if they're using segments from the other ones. But this is very dope news. I will say, though, that I went to the actual page that's putting this movie out, and the people that are doing it seem to be a bit of dickheads, to be honest with you. The I don't know if it's the distributor or the person that runs the fan page or what it is, but they were talking to the fans of the movie like total shit, you know what I mean? Like, they couldn't take any criticism for the release, and, they were answering the questions very dickheaded, and to be honest, it kind of kills it for me wanting to even get the release to them, because I don't want to put money in these dudes' pockets. So it kind of kills the point of me talking about it, but it's dope news that the movie is actually coming out, so I might wait till another distributor gets their hands on it, because that probably will happen. However, I thought it was interesting to mention, and very fucking cool indeed. So Sleepaway Camp 4, The Survivor, coming to Blu-ray at some point in 2018.
Boom. Death House releases have been pushed back to February, but there is no official set date yet. Just sometime in February, I guess.
Okay, so now this movie we've talked about a couple times on the show, and it has a crazy cast of 20 plus of the biggest horror icons. Everybody from Kane Hodder to Michael Berryman to Bill Moseley to Sid Haig, Tony Todd, Gunnar Hansen helped write or direct it, I believe. It's just a star-studded event, just a crazy cast list.
Still no word on the Robert Englund situation. So.
Yeah, I think the deal is, last we heard was he originally was set to be in the film, but he ultimately isn't going to be in the film from what we last heard. Now, I don't know if the situation's changed any. I hope it has or will, because I'd love to see England in this, but right now I don't think he's set to be in the film. And with it coming out in February, it probably won't be in the film if it hasn't been announced at this point. Either way, I'm excited for the release of this. I did watch the trailer. The trailer honestly didn't blow me away, and the trailer got a lot of heat, but I can't imagine something having so many talented heads involved and it not being, at least decent. So I am interested in checking this one out for sure. So, moving on to the next thing we have here is Mike Flanagan wants to adapt the Shining sequel novel, Dr. Sleep, which focuses on a middle-aged, traumatized Danny Torrance. So, this is just a really, really fucking cool idea, and I'm a huge fan of Mike Flanagan. We've talked about several of his films, and he's just a really dope director, and I am looking forward to this. This is actually something that I hope does happen. It hasn't been set in stone yet, but they are talking about possibly doing this. And I know that Stephen King has expressed interest in actually having this novel brought to fruition in film. So I would love to see that happen. I got my fingers crossed that it does happen. It would be dope to see a sequel to The Shining. It would be really interesting to see where they would go with it all them years later, and how a young Danny would, a middle-aged Danny, I guess at this point, would deal with it. But very cool concept in my mind, and definitely cool. Hope that happens. Only time will tell. So make sure you look out for that. The adaptation of Dr. Sleep, if Mike Flanagan gets on it, that'll be awesome.
Flanagan.
The
next Texas Chainsaw Massacre film will likely be a reboot once again.
Wow, wow, wow.
Well, maybe they'll, spice it up a bit. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, right now there's no further details on the development of what's going on with this film. There is word that the people that did the last two films, Leatherface and Texas Chainsaw 3D, do not any longer have the licenses to do TCM films. So the hands are likely going to change again, which likely means new casting, new director, and a whole new concept for the franchise. Likely a reboot of the original story. Now, I love the franchise, I do, but I will say the last two the last one more specifically, I rewatched 3D and actually liked it more when we went back and watched that. I liked it more than I remembered. It's just that intro I wasn't a huge fan of. But Leatherface, it was decent, but we'll talk about that because that's one of the movies we did watch for this year. We are going to talk about that one. It didn't blow me away, and it wasn't as good as I was hoping. It didn't give me really exactly what I wanted out of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It really didn't.
It seems like it got a lot more hype than the movie actually
delivered.
Yeah.
Yeah, and rightfully so. A lot of people were excited about this one, and it just didn't have that type of impact behind it that we were hoping to get. But so the new Texas Chainsaw likely will be a reboot again. No further updates on that. But as time does go, by, we will give any information that we get about it on the show. So make sure you stay tuned to following episodes. So that about wraps up our bone-breaking news segment. Hopefully there's something in there that you didn't know about yet, and you picked up some new knowledge for all this hard goodness coming down the pipeline. We're going to go ahead and keep it moving and get into our next segment. Don't go nowhere. Get your nachos, your Doritos, them Dury's toes. Big old bowl of hot chili cheese chimichanga beef.
Cheese.
S Christ. I don't know. Go get your snacks and shit. Go get that. Well, not like shit. If you snacking on
here
shit.
We go.
Straight duking it down. Straight dookie master. No, go get your snacks. Come back. We'll be right back with this next segment in just a moment.
Boop.
And now, Horror Headquarters presents your feature presentation, Vital Organs Discussion.
We are back, and this is your Vital Organs discussion. Of course, this is the New Year's special, and we're talking about all these lovely films from 2017, and there was a lot of them. So we're going to go ahead and get into our thoughts of these movies. We have 25 films lined up to talk about. This is a whole lot of material. So without further ado, the first film we're going to talk about in our Vital Organs discussion for tonight is going to be Split. From 2017, directed by M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong. Now, Shamalama Dang Dong. Alright, so M. Night Shyamalan is a director I like. A lot of people hate him because they hate the twist that he does. They say he's a hack. He's had his greatest hits already with fucking Sixth Sense and whatnot, but I like M. Night Shyamalan. I think in the last few years especially, he's redeemed himself with a few releases. So, Split being one of those. And this movie was dope. I do like this one. I'm going to give this one 2 thumbs up. It is a very, very dope one. I think the performance is phenomenal by the lead character. I think his name is James McAvoy or some shit or something like that. But really, really dope performance by him, and just awesome to see him switch between the personalities and just the psychopath in him. And when he turns to the beast at the end and you see him like pacing in the back, that scene is so fucking grimy. And then of course you have the ties to Unbreakable with Bruce Willis at the end. There's just a lot in this movie that definitely drives it home for me. Just the tension being built up as he has the girls captured and just kind of tormenting them with these different personalities, and them not knowing who's going to come in the room next when it's the same guy. You're just getting a different personality. I just thought that was really fucking cool. And there was some fun twist along the way too. And I'll be honest, I would like to go back and watch this one again. We did watch it when it first came out, but I do think it deserves a second watch, and I personally really liked it. What did you think about this one?
Oh, he creeped me out. I feel like on a comedy note, I feel like every time he smiled, he looked constipated or gassy.
Yeah,
and
Thera said that we couldn't come in here. That's bad. That was so great when he went to the mentally challenged kid and then would switch out to the woman and then come back as the fucking violent one. Or
Patricia.
You know what I mean? Yeah, Patricia.
I like seeing all the memes around there, and it was like, oh, it wasn't me, it was Patricia. And it was just like,
oh. Yeah, that was definitely cool. And, I really liked this film as for what it was, you know what I mean? As part of the Unbreakable franchise, it's also going to spawn another movie that they've talked about, which is going to, have more information of Mr. Glass and backstory of that. So I am super duper excited for the sequel to come to this, and I did like Split. What was your rating on this one?
I'm gonna give it 2 thumbs up because it's based on real world problems. Someone can have a personality disorder. And,
absolutely, and they've touched on that in other films like Identity and things of that nature, where you play off of those multiple personalities, and rightfully so. They say that people can be completely disassociated from different personalities they have and not even recognize what they're doing. So that does set the stage for something eerie or crazy to happen for sure.
There's actually been tests and stuff where they've actually had them hooked up to heart monitors and stuff, and when they trigger that one personality, they could see the mind transform and whatnot. And it's no, this isn't fake.
Yeah,
because some people will
legit.
Fake. Yeah,
it is legit.
You want to move on to next movie?
Yeah, I think that wraps it up for Split. Like we said, we both give 2 thumbs up to this one. Highly recommend it. Definitely a dope one. Check out that.
The next one is going to be Happy Death Day from 2017, obviously. I don't know why I said it. Directed by Christopher Landon. Now, this one was a good one.
Yeah, so Happy Death Day, I heard a lot of people shit on it. And I will say, it's not the most amazing film ever, but it's fun. It's got a lot of fun, funny elements to it. It definitely has some comedic, spots to it. The main character, the chick, is a total fucking bitch in the beginning, but she kind of flips it around at the end and becomes a little bit more tolerable.
Yeah, because she even says during the movie, she's like, when you're reliving the same day over and over, it really shows who you are. And it's oh yeah, I can imagine that.
Yeah, and I did like this one. I thought that it was pretty cool premise. It was like a horror version of Groundhog Day, which, we've seen this before where somebody is living the same day over and over again. It's been done a few times in movies, but I can't recall a horror rendition of it. I think it's the first time it's been done to my knowledge. But I like this one. I thought it was really cool. I don't think it was amazing. It didn't make my top 10 of the year, but I do think that it was enjoyable, and I think that it was definitely worth a watch. And if you have a chance to check it out, it is worth checking. I'm going to go ahead and give this one 1 thumbs up. I enjoyed it. I didn't love it, but I thought it was good. I thought it was worth a watch. So, yeah, Happy Death Day was pretty cool.
I am going to give it 2 thumbs up.
Oh!
Because I like it. It did make my top 10, honestly.
Oh,
so.
Snapples.
Just like the thought of reliving the same day, and it's like I don't think I would want to do that, especially if it's a day where
you get murdered.
Well, yeah, but then there's like you could be reliving a day where it turned out like really bad, and you could just be like reliving that whole.
Well, getting murdered is about as bad as your day.
No, I'm saying as well, like on top of that, like
on
you're
top of
already
being
having
killed,
a bad
you
day,
already
and
had
then
a
it's
bad
just
day.
like, oh well.
Well, that's even fucking more worse, I guess. Even more worse. Yeah, that's not fucking language. I guess that's even worse. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's pretty fucked. The concept, like I said, behind it is dope, and I haven't really seen it touched on in horror really like that. So I do like Happy Death Day. I'm going to give it a thumbs up. You're giving it 2 thumbs up. We both recommend this one. I think we checked this one out online on F Movies. Couldn't really find it anywhere else because it is still pretty damn new. But yeah, I did like this one. So thumbs up for me, 2 thumbs up from her. Moving on to the next one, which is Cult of Chucky, also from 2017, directed by Don Mancini, who's been heavily involved with the franchise from day one. Mm-hmm. So this is the 7th entry? You got 1, 2, 3, and then you got Bride, Seed, Cult. Or Bride, Seed, Curse, Cult. So this is number 7. So this is basically Child's Play 7, Cult of Chucky. And I gotta say, I liked it. I did like it. And not just neutral either. Like, it's gonna get a thumbs up. I'm gonna give it 1 thumbs up. But I liked Curse more, I think. I think Curse was a little bit darker, and the face and the look of Chucky was a little bit cooler and more realistic. It didn't really like when I say more realistic, more not even realistic, more fake looking actually. They made it look more human in the new one.
Doll-like.
Yeah, because look more of the original look. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because if you look at the original Chucky's, they made them look a lot different in the more modern ones, and especially in the last one. And that was my biggest quarrel with this movie, probably. There was a lot of cool odes and twists to it, especially the post-credit scene with the character from 2 coming back. And then you also have Andy coming back as well. I think there was a lot of really cool things in this movie that made it stand out for me. And, it was enough to make me a fan of it. I did like that he had the Chucky head and was just slowly torturing it. Mm-hmm. That was fucking cool. That was a cool concept. And I mean, something that I hadn't really seen done with the Chucky films before, so I did appreciate that. So I'm going to go ahead and say 1 thumbs up. Cult of Chucky was dope. I don't think it was amazing. It didn't blow me away, but it was enjoyable. I liked it more than I liked Seed, obviously.
Oh, well, yeah.
But I don't think it was better than Curse. Obviously not better than the OG. It was worth a watch. It's just not amazing. So what are your thoughts on the Cult of Chucky?
I freaking loved it. I don't know about you, but... Well, I do know about you.
Now you do know about me. Yes, right.
But I'm a fan of Chucky anyway. Chucky was my first horror movie, my horror icon and whatnot.
Yep, first Child's Play, right?
Yep. So there's multiple Chuckies. It's cool because you think it's one Chucky, and then he comes from around the corner, and it's like,
boom, there's another one.
Yeah,
and another one, and another one. Yeah, there's like 3 or 4 of them.
Yeah, and then they have the girl coming back. Yeah. She was awesome.
From Curse.
Yes.
Yep.
She's the handicapped one.
And she is actually the daughter of Brad Dourif as well.
Really?
Yeah, she's the daughter of of Chucky, like in real life. She's the daughter.
That's cool because they made her the daughter of Charles in the movie. That's cool.
Yeah, so
But,
in real life, she is the daughter of
Yeah.
Brad Dourif.
Well, that explains why she was so amazing in it after she after Charles took over her body, and it was like spot on. They stuck with the original outfit except the shoes. She was in heels, he was in boots, but
Yeah, I know you pointed that out
Yeah.
to me too, and I noticed that.
was
Yeah,
like,
that was an
oh.
awesome nod to the OG. I did
yeah,
like that.
I remembered it because of the scarf.
The scarf,
I
yeah, the
remember
red
bright
scarf, yeah, yep.
And what else was there? Oh, Jennifer Tilly. She's like goddess. I fucking love her. Her voice can get obnoxious, but it's like rememberable. She's like Fran.
Oh my
You
god!
will never forget about them because of their voices.
Fran. She's like Peter Griffin. Oh my.
Yeah, she's like a female Peter Griffin. Yep.
Great.
But other than that, like, the movie was just amazing to me. Like, she came back. There was it right there. The Tiffany doll came back, like, at the end.
At the end, yeah. That was cool.
awesome. So, 2 thumbs up for me because Chucky's my
Go-to
best
guy.
friend. Charlie's my good guy.
He's your good guy, pal. So, that's 2 thumbs up from Naya. 1 thumb up from me. That's a total of 3 thumbs up for Call to Chucky. Enjoyable. Recommend it. Check this one out. This one is actually on Netflix. However, the post-credit scene is not on Netflix. You can go on YouTube and look it up, though, and check out that last scene after you watch it on Netflix to get that post-credit scene.
Yeah.
So make sure you check that out. Moving on to the next one. Our next movie is...
Wish Upon, directed by John R. Leonetti.
That's right.
I hope I pronounced that right.
This obviously is from 2017 as well. Now, I had big hopes for this one. I really did, and I love the concept on it. And it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad at all. I thought it was actually decent. It just didn't have the pacing exactly that I wanted in it, and it didn't have the amount of the wishes going wrong and seeing them go astray that I wanted to see in there. It was just kind of lacked on those ends. It was satisfying seeing the repercussions of those wishes, but I don't feel like it delivered what I wanted it to deliver in the movie, and I wasn't real happy with the ending, I remember. So I'm going to actually say neutral in this one and say it's not bad, but it's not great. It didn't make my top 10. I mean, it's worth a watch for sure.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's great. I think we caught this one F movies as well.
No.
No?
This one was on
Was it on Prime?
Putlocker.
Okay. Yeah, so this one was alright. Like I said, it's not great, it's not bad, it's kind of middle of the road for me. But it has a cool concept, it just doesn't deliver on the concept real well. So Wish Upon, it's not bad, not great, worth a check if you like movies like that, but not amazing. You know, it's kind of forgettable, to be honest.
I'm also gonna go neutral in this because I feel like I've seen a ton of movies that involve like music boxes or family
box,
heirlooms or
it's definitely been done quite a few times now. The Possession with the box, obviously this one. There was the movie The Box with Cameron Diaz. There was that segment in XX where they had the box. You know what I mean? So there's definitely a lot of movies that use that premise. And, you know, the Hellraiser. You know what I mean? Where it's a box. So I mean, things like that where it's, you know, it's been done 100 times rehashed. I get the point of, you know, you get tired of seeing it. You were kind of hoping for something new, and just Wish Upon didn't really deliver. So we're both going neutral on this one. It's worth checking out, but you're not missing a lot if you don't see it. So it's whatever on that one.
Honestly, I'd like to see a horror movie that involves like a magic mirror. Like I haven't seen a horror
Oculus has a mirror.
Never seen that.
See, I have it. And it's a Mike Flanagan movie. Flanagan, same guy behind Hush.
Yeah.
Now, Oculus is pretty cool, and I have it on Blu-ray, so maybe we'll visit that soon and talk about it on an upcoming show. So, yeah, Wish Upon, decent, but not great. So moving on to the next one, and I like this one, and this one actually did make my top 10. And that is The Babysitter from 2017, directed by Mick G. Big Mick G. So, this one was cool. This is a horror comedy for sure. It is definitely a horror comedy, and It's fun. What can I say? This shit is fun. I like the concept. I think it was really cool. I thought it's exhilarating. It's interesting. It grabs your attention. And it's something that's just really different. I think the killing in it, the brutality is great. The gore is pretty solid. The storyline is fun and interesting. It keeps you captivated from the beginning. It's not really any boring spots in it. It's
doesn't
paced,
go off topic.
Yeah, it's paced very well. Solid performances all the way around. I don't think there was any weak acting in it per se. I really like this one. I'm gonna go 2 thumbs up on this one and say it's definitely worth a watch. I believe it's also a Netflix original, and it is actually streaming on Netflix right now. That's where we checked it out. This one's dope. It's definitely a flick that you can sit down with your lady and watch and zone out to, and definitely enjoy it. And I highly recommend this one. It's a great horror comedy, probably the best of the year, if one of the best, if not the best of the year. Definitely delivers. Out of the ones I've seen, it's up there for me from one of my favorite horror comedies of the year, and just a really, really well done film. Fun story, you know what I mean? Like I said, the concept is really fun, and similar things have been done, but I don't think with such a comedic vibe and as well done either. So yeah, 2 big thumbs up for The Babysitter from me. This one's definitely enjoyable. What are your thoughts on this one?
I think I mentioned it during the beginning of the movie, and what I thought it was going to be something like My Babysitter as a Vampire, and that's like the first thing that came to mind when I heard of this and whatnot. Whatnots. And it was like, it led up and made you think that she was a vampire, and then it was just like, oh, she's not a vampire.
Oh.
Okay, so that's cool. That's nice to know. So there was the first twist there. Kills, like you said, very gruesome. It made me want to cry because I felt bad for the peoples.
Oh my god.
And then there was the kid who was very innocent in all this, but also a fuckboy.
Fuckboy ass fuckboy.
But yeah, so my rating on this would have to be, I guess I could give it 1 thumb up.
He went savage on her. At the
end.
end.
The car.
Dipped out, said, fuck you, bitch, die.
Yeah.
And then she comes back, says, fuck you, I'm back. Savagery. So you give this one 1 thumb. I give this one 2 thumbs up. 3 overall. We recommend this one. It's on Netflix. Check it out if you're into horror comedies for sure. Speaking of horror comedies, we're going into another one with the next film, which is...
Little Evil from 2017, obviously.
That's right.
And directed by Eli Craig.
Eli Craigskins. That's right. So, this little fuck ass. So, basically, this kid looks like the Omen, acts like the Omen, is essentially the devil spawn reincarnate. And his mom is just, my son is the greatest in the world. He's not this villain.
Oh, my son's an angel. He will never.
Oh my god, he just buried somebody in the backyard alive.
Maybe you guys should just spend some more time together. No, he buried me in the backyard.
Yeah, I want a fucking divorce. The movie starts off great with that, and it's a really fun one. This one didn't make my top 10, but it is good. It's really good. It came close to getting in the top 10. I'm going to give this one 1 thumbs up. I do think it is enjoyable. It is also on Netflix, and I think this is also a Netflix original as well. Netflix has been killing the fucking horror game lately. Straight up. Stranger Things, fucking Gerald's Game, fucking this joint, like, The Babysitter, like, all these fucking original movies, and they're raw. Like, I'm definitely, hats off, salute to Netflix. Y'all are fucking shitting in the horror genre right now, for real. Like, I'm enjoying it. Big dumps, big pumps in the rumps and the dumps and the bump, jump, bump, flump, flump, flump. Don't know where that came from, but you're taking that shit all to the face. So, to the face, the Phasians. So, Little Evil was dope. I really like this one. I thought it was cool to have a twist where it's a comedic jab. It's very Shaun of the Dead. It does for the zombie genre what the demonic possession genre needs, you know what I mean? Like, it gives that comic element, to that different genre, essentially. So, I really like this one. Highly recommend it. Little Evil. This was dope. What was your thoughts on this one?
The little kid made me want to punch him in the throat.
Oh, no. Not a throat punch on a little kid.
No.
Savage.
No, but he really, irritated me. His face irritated me. The way he'd stare when he's, about to, cast a spell or whatever.
Cast a spell. Dace little bastard.
And, like, he acted so innocent. And it was like, I thought he was so innocent. And then you decide to bury your stepdad in the backyard.
You thought he was innocent, but he ain't. He does not care about you or anything you do.
Yeah, so, and then, like, he causes all, like, these commotions and whatnot, and everybody's just like...
You're fucking dead!
Or he'll blind you, like, he, like, mentally blinds you, because there was one scene where he was dragging the dude outside, and no one seen him, no one heard him, like, whatsoever, but he was clearly right there, so...
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I like this one. I like I said, I did like this one. It didn't quite make the top 10, but it was damn close to getting in there. Definitely recommend it. So check out Little Evil from 2017, directed by Eli Craig. Very cool flick. Definitely a fun horror comedy if you're into that genre. This is one for you. Which brings us to the next one, which is not a horror comedy. It has some comedic elements in it, I think. I think it has a couple comedic elements in it. But this one is definitely dope, and this is an independent one that we had the honor to review this year, and that is The Theta Girl from 2017, directed by Christopher Bickle. Now, this one was really cool. We did like this one. We both highly recommend this one. We were lucky enough to have a screener sent to us. I'm not sure where this one is available at the moment. I'm sure it is available in a few different locations. I'm just not exactly sure where. I will get in contact with Chris to see if I can get a website from him to spread the word around a little bit for him. He did do this film independently. I think the budget they said was $7,000, which was really, really impressive to me that they put this film together for such a budget. Really enjoyable, and you know, this is another one that came extremely close to getting in my top 10. For independent films, it would definitely be in my top 10. It's just fucking phenomenal. I really enjoyed it. I thought it had a cool soundtrack, a really awesome vibe, definite odes to the 70s and 80s, 100% a grindhouse vibe and feel. Just guerrilla filmmaking at its finest, and I 100% appreciate the efforts put in by Bickle and the cast in this film. I liked it, and I'm looking forward to seeing what else he comes out with. I believe he's working on a new film right now. I hope I am lucky enough to get my hands on a copy of that. Wink, wink, Mr. Bickle. Hopefully I am lucky enough to get a screener of that one when it drops. And I would love to get a physical of Theta Girl as well. So, Chris, I know you're going to hear this because I'm going to send you this shit. What's up with the physicals? Let me know what the dealio is on a physical of Theta Girl, because I'd love to cop one. I'd love to get a signed one from you directly if possible. So, yeah, looking forward to seeing what Chris has coming down the pipeline for his next project. But the Theta Girl was dope. This one has a really cool original story, and there's this, you know, Theta drug that's introduced, and this Theta Girl is basically this drug dealer that goes through this horrific night and this huge ordeal, and you follow right along with her. And it's very Hobo with a Shotgun vibe, which is one of my favorite grindhouse films. It 100% has a vibe like that, and it's just a very cool type film, and it's something that's lost in modern filmmaking, and just really enjoyable. Couldn't recommend this one enough. I'm going to go ahead and give this one 2 big thumbs up. This is an awesome independent film. Highly recommend you check this one out. I will hit you guys with a link and more information on this one in the future. Make sure to tune into a future episode, because I do also plan on interviewing Chris as well. I've already spoke with him about that down the line, and we will be getting an interview set up now that I got this new computer, so look forward to that, and hopefully I can have him lay some more info on you guys about this film and where to get it and get those digitals or physicals as well when they drop. What was your thoughts on this one?
I like this one, honestly. This one did make my top 10, so you're welcome.
Boom.
No, but I liked how like it touched base on like the different effect of different drugs. You know, like I've seen many movies where they've like touched base on ecstasy or acid or like stuff like that.
Shit.
Yeah. Woo.
Blow your brain.
Like this is like a new drug which also causes new effects. So it's like, oh, well, people are very creative out here in this world, aren't they?
Yeah, I love the idea of a drug that makes everyone hallucinate and see like the same thing. Yeah, like the same entity. That's what they called it, right? The entity.
Yep.
And I thought that was really cool. I like the concept of that. And even how it talked with like the chirpy bird noise with the way it talked. It was just super bugged out.
It was weird.
You know what I mean? The religious dude was just real bugged out. It's just an interesting weirdo film. I absolutely love this one. So we both recommend this. What are you giving this one for your rating?
2 thumbs up.
So we're giving this one 4 thumbs up total. This is an amazing independent film. Highly recommended. Big shouts out to Chris Bickle for hooking me up with a screener of this when it dropped. And that is The Theta Girl from this year, 2017. So make sure you check that one out. More info on that one to come in the future. Moving right along to the next film we have...
Camera Obscura from 2017, directed by Aaron B. Koontz.
Aaron B. Koontz, do bow banjo. Straight deliverance banjo, yo. But yeah. So Camera Obscura. Now this one we were just talking about. Now this one is another one that, you know, it kind of falls in the cracks. It was okay, but I don't think it was great. It kind of felt like another Shudder type film to me. It's just another rehashed concept redone. I don't have a lot to say about this one. I'm trying to remember where we watched this one. I think we found this one online as well. I don't think it's on any sites. I think it's on Prime now, though.
I think it was on Netflix at one point.
It might have been on Netflix, but I do think it's on Prime now. I am interested in, you know, that concept being done, but I just don't feel it was done, you know, real well with this. It was okay. It wasn't amazing. Like I said, it's worth a watch to check out, but nothing too great here. What's your thoughts on Obscura?
I did put this one in my list, but now it's gonna get changed out because I thought it was a whole different movie.
Yeah, we talked about that. Yeah, we talked about that before filming tonight. We made a little mistake on which film we thought this was, and had to switch it out.
But I do like the concept of it, like seeing how somebody dies. Kind of like I've seen movies like it, but not with a camera. Like, this guy actually sees how they die in the photo. Or I think it's more like a crime scene photo.
Some Final Destination type shit.
Yeah, so there's that. And plus, I'm like beginner photographer over here, so cameras are like my thing. And just seeing this. And there have been stories about people seeing weird shit during, like, journeys and shit. So it's like, oh,
whoa,
no.
That was a little over the top.
Yeah,
all right, moving on. Because we don't have a lot to say about this one. I'm going to go ahead and go neutral on this one. Actually, you know what? Yeah, I'll go neutral on it because I don't think it's bad. I almost want a thumbs down on it, but I don't think it was bad. It's just, it's bland. So I'm going to go neutral. What's your rating on this one?
I think I'm going to go neutral with it myself.
All right, so we're going 0 thumbs up on this, 0 thumbs down. This motherfucker is flat as a board. Just like its premise.
Pancake.
Straight pancake premise. Kind of boring. You know, not a lot to say about this one. So we're going to go ahead and get into the next one, which I'm sure we both have a lot to say about. And that is Get Out from 2017, directed by Jordan Peele.
I don't see what the big freaking ordeal was with this movie. We're still together.
That's right.
We're an interracial couple. I've heard, like, I've seen...
Ivory, living together in harmony. Hey.
Punch in the throat. Like, I've seen and heard stories about couples breaking up over this movie, and it's just like,
I don't get all
why?
that either. I could definitely see the connotations of the undertones of it and the direction they were heading and the message that Peele was trying to get across in it. And I feel that, and it definitely does touch on race strongly. I mean, that's the driving force of the movie is, you know, race. I mean, from the very beginning, he's afraid to go meet this girl's parents because he thinks they're going to judge him because he's black. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's, you know, doesn't want to go meet him. And he has all these worries right off the break. And that's kind of the tone of the movie. And even when you meet the parents, it just feels funny. And they've got this black waitress, what you call it? Not waiter, fucking... doorman and fucking butler and shit and like groundskeeper, like everything, you know what I mean? It's all black people. There's no white people that work for him really.
Yeah.
And you start to automatically like feel like, okay, what the fuck is going on here? Like, is there some racial undertones? And then obviously that's the point of this movie, is to have 100% have that. I mean, the cover is black and white cut in half, and then half black on the half white if you look at it the way the text is. So that was 100% intentional. Jordan Peele has gone on the record, talking about that obviously race plays a huge part in this movie. So I can see why people might get a little up in arms about it, but I don't think there's any reason to fucking break up over it. Like she mentioned, we're an interracial couple, and we watched it together and did not see anything that would make us not want to be together in it at all.
We looked at each other and was like, I don't see what the big deal was.
Yeah. And now I'll say this movie did make my top 10. I think it made yours too.
Yeah.
And it was enjoyable, but I don't think it was as good as it's getting praised for. A lot of people are saying it was movie of the year and the best horror film of the year. I don't think that. I don't even think it was top 3 horror film of the year. I do think it's top 10. I think it's good. Good enough that I'm going to give it 2 thumbs up. But I don't think it's like the greatest film of the year. It's definitely enjoyable, a dope watch, a great effort from Jordan Peele for his first venture into horror film, and it makes me want to see what he does in the future with the horror genre. So I heard he's actually working on some more horror-related stuff, and I'm looking forward to that. I hope he does continue down that path. But this one was all right. It was definitely worth watching. I'm gonna get it when I get a chance. We saw this on. I think we found this online too.
Yeah.
Movies, I think, or Putlocker, one of the two. This one was definitely good, though. Awesome effort from Jordan Peele. I'm going to give this one 2 thumbs up. What were your thoughts on this?
Well, off the break, I'm a fan of Jordan Peele anyway, since
Key and Peele.
Yeah, since that show. Like, there's that, and then he was in the movie Keanu with the little gangster kitty.
Yeah.
And that was adorable. I watched that with my mom, and we were just like, oh, look at the little kitty. Because he had a little bandana and a little gold chain.
Little thug
rings.
life kitty cat.
Anyway.
Any fucking way, bruh.
But yeah, it's like, this movie was good. It was, to me, it was amazing because it touched, like, it talked about, like, a big issue, really. But that's kind of what it did.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely brings to the forefront the issue of race and how people are portrayed. I do think there's definitely that hinted there with how he interacts with the family, like how they treat him, and you know what I'm saying? Like that's definitely hinted at. Like, and then like how she's just, there's a whole bunch of different things that push to that, like, and how they say, like, just the way they word things. You can tell there's a whole lot of like carefully worded innuendos in there, and how they word things is very important, and it's definitely something to take note of. But like I said, I don't think there's anything so strong in there that would make a couple split. I didn't really get that idea from it, but I did enjoy this one, so 2 thumbs up for me. What's your rating on this?
2 thumbs up for me as well. But I guess I could see how it's a big issue because, like, nowadays you hear about all the racism and stuff. And then it's like, oh, well, that does not faze me because I grew up around white people. So it's
around
like,
us, all us honkies. All us cracker-ass crackers. So it's funny, you know what I mean? Like, racism's always been a huge issue, but I think now it's just more in the forefront because there's more media, there's more television, there's more internet,
bullshit.
There's more phones and cameras, you know what I mean? Like, it's just seen more. I don't think it's necessarily worse. I think it's probably actually less, you know, a less racist era that we live in now compared to 50, 100 years ago. It's just you see
definitely.
a lot more of the ugly side of shit. You know what I mean? It's definitely not gone away, and it's not going to go away because there's always going to be people that are fucking scumbags. But I would definitely say that race relations have 100% improved over the last 50 years and definitely over the last 100 years. Things have definitely made a radical change. So this film definitely has undertones of the issue of racism in it throughout, and it touches on that, and just race relations, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But I don't think there's anything in there that's so groundbreakingly horrible that it would fucking make a couple split. I don't personally see that.
I guess it was like those childish couples. They're like, oh, well, if you do that to me, then
no.
I don't know what I do.
What the fuck?
Okay, so I guess we're going to move on to the next movie. We gave our ratings, correct?
Yes, we did. We're moving along.
Awesome. The next movie is It from 2017, directed by
Andres Muschietti.
I wasn't going to say that. I was going to be like Andres.
Andres Muschietti, I think.
Okay, well, yeah.
Old machete face. But this is It Chapter 1, as it's titled. I didn't put Chapter 1 in the writing just because I was a lazy bitch. But all these letters, Chapter 1? It's like 10 letters.
CH.1.
But, yeah, so it was dope. It is essentially a remake of the original, and it's kind of like the first half of the story, because there is a It 2 planned, or It Chapter 2, which continues the original story. As many of you know, the original was broken into many parts, and I think they're kind of doing that with this, but in a movie format rather than a mini-series format. So, this one was dope. I really like this one, and it's getting a lot of shit, and I will say there's a few CGI moments in it that definitely are cringeworthy. But there's like one or two of them. It's not a lot, and they're not huge moments. And the majority of scenes in it that are, you know, gory and brutal are dope and well done, and the acting is very well done, and the soundtrack and the vibe and the feel and the look and the cinematography and the backstories on everything. So when you look at all the positives of the movie, it's really hard to outweigh the negatives. I'm going to give 2 big thumbs up to it. I really enjoyed this one, and I do look forward to the sequel. What were your thoughts on this one?
I'm a fan of the original in the first place.
Absolutely. Tim Curry.
Yeah, I bought the book not that long ago, but I haven't. I've read like 2 pages of it.
2 pages of Chapter 1, bro.
Busy and whatnot. No, I think it's like 2 pages of the introduction.
Jesus.
Like, I'm being honest.
The preface.
But the new one compared to the old one is definitely much grimier and brutal with the kills. You saw, like, this Pennywise from the new one eat Georgie's fucking arm off, and it's like blood
that was
dripping
grimy.
down. And in the original, it's just like, oh, Lord, let me pull you in here, and I'm gonna eat you in silence, and I don't care, like, be interrupted.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot more gore and brutality shown in this one, which to me doesn't make things more scary ever. The less it's shown, the more scary it is, but it adds up the gore. So you got to balance things, I guess, in a horror movie. You have to really ask yourself, is it gore that you're looking for, or is it creepiness and scariness? Because if you're looking for creepiness and scariness, typically it's not going to be done with a lot of gore. It's going to be done by shadow and lighting and movement and atmosphere and soundtrack and score. Things like that set the tone. Real gore doesn't really make me, like, it doesn't scare me. Like, if something's real bloody or gory or, like, organs or whatever, I'm not like, oh my God. But if something moves a certain way, or looks a certain way, or fucking, like, sounds a certain way, like, that shit, like, even a sound can be way more terrifying than the most.
Yeah, because you can't see it.
Or silence, or lack of things, or not showing things. That's what really makes it scary. You know what I mean? So, but you also want to see nasty, fucked up shit. So that's where having good gore is there, but you gotta balance it. You gotta have that fucking balance, and there's too many movies that don't. They either go all scare, or they go all gore.
Yeah.
And you gotta have a balance of that. Show me that brutal fucking fucked up, disgusting brutality, but then have creepy scenes where you don't show me shit and use tension and atmosphere and build up the scene. That's what I want to see. And that's what I like to see, and what honestly a lot of moviegoers, especially in the horror genre, want to see. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, we're just not getting a ton of that. There's not a great mix, so it's unfortunate. But I do think that it is dope, and I think that it definitely delivers. I'm giving this 2 thumbs up. You're giving this 2 thumbs up. We both enjoy this one. This one is very dope. We saw this one in the theaters.
Yeah.
This was one that we both anticipated. So I do not have this one yet. I have the OG on DVD. I don't have the remake yet, but I will be getting it. Highly.
I think Blu-ray's coming out this month. Or
yeah, the Blu-ray hasn't dropped yet, I don't believe. So I'm highly anticipating that. I'm really looking forward to the sequel. This one is definitely recommended. It made my top 10. I think it made your top 10. Mm-hmm. It made a lot of people's top 10 this year. Great film. It didn't take my number 1 slot. I'm not going to tell you what that is, but it didn't make number 1. It did make, however, in my top 3, and very well deserved. I think it is dope. But yeah, what a great flick. So moving on to the next one. This is one we mentioned earlier, and this is a Netflix original, and that is Gerald's Game from 2017, of course, directed by Mike Flanagan. So This one was dope. We talked about this on a previous episode before. We both liked this one. Right off the break, I'm giving this 2 big thumbs up. I absolutely love this one. You're giving it 2 thumbs up. It was really dope. Stephen King adaptation here that just has phenomenal acting, awesome atmosphere. It really creeps you out with the wolf coming into the house. And then, you know, the later story of finding out about the character and the guy that was in the house and all, and the fucking, you know what I mean? The killer and shit. Like, that fucking dude looked so creepy and just really set the shit off and made it real weirdo at the end for me. I just love how she had to survive and how she had to get out of it and fucking pull herself from it, and how she, you know, the ending of it was good. And I really liked it. I thought it was a great movie in survival. It was a great survival horror film, and very well done. A slow burner. Lots of tension in this one. Keeps you on your feet. Very well done. Phenomenal acting. Very real life situation that I think, you know, a lot of people have put themselves in, where, you know, it's easy to be put somewhere vulnerable and left in that situation, you know, whether you're in the bathroom or a shower or having sex, you know what I mean? There's a lot of things that you can do that you're vulnerable at, and I think that preys on a lot of people, and that fear is very real, and they definitely channel that and showcase that in Gerald's Game. So, like I said, 2 big thumbs up for me. There's another Mike Flanagan movie. Just a dope director. You know, Oculus, Hush, Gerald's Game. A lot of dope movies and definitely enjoyable. And, yeah, I like this a lot. So I'm definitely giving 2 big thumbs up to this one. What was your thoughts on this one?
I think we've already discussed that I didn't like shit.
You didn't like this one as much as
No,
I
I did like it. I think it was it reminded me of myself in a way, because it brought up points in time, like relatable points. It related so much, so it was like, there was definitely like trigger moments in there, kind of, but like not major ones. So there was just like, oh, my heart. I feel what you feel. Like, I know how that feels, and then it's just like, I don't want to be handcuffed to a bed and having to get out of that situation, because I'd probably sit there and die, because I'm not that type of like problem solving person. So I'd probably just sit there like, oh, I don't know what to do, panic attack forever.
Dead.
Yeah.
Asthma asphyxiation.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Now I'm dying against a bedpost. So, yeah, this one was a dope one. I liked it. 2 thumbs up from me. What are your rating on this one?
I gave it 2 thumbs up as well.
Okay, so this is 4 thumbs up. We both recommend this. I believe this is still on Netflix. It is a Netflix original. That's where we watched it. Very dope one. This one is up there for me. It is in my top 10. Very high up there as well. I thought this was a phenomenal one. This is worth a watch. 100% worth a buy. I will be copping this when I get a chance. It's definitely got more elements of thriller in it, but it is a horror. It definitely is a horror movie. It just has a lot of thriller elements. It's slow burner.
Thriller.
It definitely is. Psychological thriller with horror elements for sure. This one is a top one for me. So Gerald's Game from 2017. We're going to go ahead and get into the next film, which is going to be
The Belko Experiment. Obviously from 2017. Directed by Greg McLean.
That's right, Big Greggins, McLeansta. So this one's really cool. This is kind of like Battle Royale in a office setting environment. And so Battle Royale is essentially what you saw with Belko Experiment, but at a school. And with kids on an island. Yeah. School kids on an island, and it's like in China or Korea or some shit. It's Asian, but a really dope film. I enjoyed this one. This is another one that made my top 10. It's a really, really cool flick. I'm not familiar with the director Greg McLean. I did like the casting in this. Some really cool choices in there from people that I've seen in several films. Rooker was in there. Michael Rooker was in there. Who's one of my favorite actors and just a real fucking goon in this. Just a really, really grimy film. Highly enjoyable. A lot of action in this one. It definitely fits action horror vibe. A cool concept too. Mayhem is kind of the same idea. Mayhem's much more closer to this actually than whatchamacallit, than I just said it. Battle Royale. Much closer than Battle Royale. However, I haven't seen Mayhem yet, but I do know about it because I've seen the trailer, and it 100% is like office vibe, people fighting each other, and there's the same kind of concept there. So, Belko Experiment, I'm going to go ahead and give 2 thumbs up to. I really like this one. I enjoyed it. I love the twists and turns in it, the griminess to it. Really savage flick, kind of like an office version of Battle Royale for sure. Probably not as good as Battle Royale, but definitely enjoyable. 2 thumbs up for me. What were your thoughts on this one?
I think I'm gonna go with like just 1 thumb because I didn't like the ending.
Yeah.
Hashtag spoiler alert, but he still dies. Like, he survives, but then they're just like, nope, you survived, but we don't want you going out and telling people about this, so we're gonna kill you anyway.
You're fucking done, son. You're fucking done, son.
But other than that, the movie was good. I hate to be in that situation. I don't think I could be in that like killing some like coworkers, especially if they're your friends and you're just like, no, I'm sorry.
I'm gonna have to put a bullet through your fucking hand, Thomas.
I promise I'd shoot you somewhere where it won't kill you, and then you're like, oh, I hit a vein. Shit.
An artery, a major organ, your skull.
Yeah.
You shot me in the face. You said you weren't gonna do. I'm sorry. I have bad aim. You're 2 feet away. Whoops.
That'd be you.
I slipped on that banana on the floor.
Oh, what are we, Mario now?
We're both laying down. Oh, whoops, sorry. They held us captive and I had to shoot your face.
Jeez.
It's terrible. So, yeah, the Belko Experiment, that's going to get, 2 thumbs up for me. I really like this one. What is your rating? 1 thumb up. So we got 3 thumbs up total on this one. Definitely enjoyable. I do want to get this for the collection. I do not have it yet. I can't remember where we checked this one. I think this was online as well.
This was on,
F
online,
Movies.
yep.
I think it was F Movies we catch this one. Belko Experiment from 2017, directed by Greg McLean. Very, very cool flick. Highly recommend it. Check that one out if you get a chance. Moving on to the next one, and after this one, we're going to take a little brief intermission. But before we do that, we're going to talk about It Comes at Night from 2017, directed by Trey Edward Schultz. Now, this one I thought was solid. I did like this one. I'm going to give this one 1 thumb up right off the break. I think it was dope. It didn't make my top 10, but it was a solid flick, and we watched this one recently. I think it's a great story of trust and desperation and whether you'll be able to survive something or not, and you know, it really plays on trust and how people interact with each other. And I think that's, like we talked about before, what really makes films scary. Because you don't particularly see them running from anything. You know, there's like a virus, and they're in this post-apocalyptic world, and they're trying to run from viruses, and there's something supposedly chasing them when they go out, or a reason they don't go out, but you don't really see what it is in the movie.
I think it's just like an airborne virus, because they do mention in the movie that it started in the town that they lived in, and everybody started dying off one by one in the town.
Yeah.
So it has to be a virus, because, like, what else? I thought it was, like, something nuclear or, like, radioactive.
Yeah, because it's post-apocalyptic. They've got the mask. They got the breathing apparatuses, so it definitely puts off that vibe and that feel 100%. What was your rating on this one? Did you like this? What was your thoughts?
1 thumb. Like I said, I don't know what I'd do if I was put in this situation. Like, when I give these, I sometimes think realistic, like real world shit. It's just like, I don't want to go through that yet.
I don't want this to happen, Tam.
I'm sorry.
No.
So, 1 thumb up for me.
1 thumbs up for her, 2 thumbs up for me. Or, excuse me, 1 thumb up for me. That's right. We both gave this one 1 thumb. Yep. So 2 thumbs up overall. This is worth a watch. Not amazing. This is another one I caught on F Movies. I might get this. I don't know. I'm not sweating this one. It's cool, whatever. If I see it at a pawn shop, I'll grab it. But I'm not really hunting this one down. So we're going to go ahead and get into the next one. But before we do that, we're going to take a brief intermission. We're almost an hour in. We've still got about another dozen movies to go through. And, of course, our poll. But without further ado, we have a very special, very fun film we want to present to you guys. So we're going to hit you with this upcoming trailer. Don't go nowhere. We'll be right back in just a moment.
You ain't nothing but a hound dog, you're crying all the time. You ain't nothing but a hound dog, crying all the time. Well, you ain't never caught a rabbit and you ain't no friend of mine.
He used to be the king of rock and roll. Now he's just a rotting soul. He's been gone since 1977. Over 40 years later, he's back.
Elvis Presley, the king of rotting soul.
The shoes are blue and my corpse is too, baby. Watch out now.
The king has a bone to pick. Back from an early grave, Elvis Presley has returned. A deal with Satan for the control of his soul. He's coming back whether you like it or not. To give himself life, he's coming to take yours.
That's no impersonator, nor an imposter. That's Elvis fucking Presley. He's pissed off.
Put another nickel in the jukebox, baby. It's time to dance. Come on, man. I will chop your fucking head off of your goddamn shoulders, man. I'm the king of rock and roll. And you can't in the rain, man.
WRO 35 News reporting live from Jackson. Several sightings in western Tennessee suggest that perhaps Elvis Presley is still alive and kicking.
Watch out, mama. You don't want to step on the shoes, baby. That's blue suede.
Okay, there is pain involved. You like the pain.
There is pain involved. You're gonna like it anyway. Little weird. Things are gonna get a little weird. We are back, and we still have more of our Vital Organs discussion. We hope you enjoyed that little intermission. We have another dozen films to talk about, so don't go nowhere. I'm gonna talk about this first one right here, which is gonna be Rings from 2017. All in your face. Face. Directed by F. Javier Gutierrez. I don't know why I went so extra with that.
He is so extra.
It was a little extra. So, this Rings movie, I don't know. I was not huge on this. I thought it was okay. It's essentially just another fucking modernized version of The Ring. There's nothing really fantastic to it. It doesn't seem like there's much connecting it to the original films that I could tell.
Besides the chick.
Yeah,
and
the story,
TV.
obviously, yeah. But it didn't do a lot for me. I don't think it was a really good film. It did make my top 10. I probably wouldn't have made my top 20 if I would have did one. And I was really let down by this one. I was a fan of the original Ring movie. I thought that was pretty dope. But this one just didn't really live up to a new sequel. Or whatever it was supposed to be. I was not a fan of it. I'm going to actually say thumbs down on this one. I don't even think it's really worth watching. Like, I'm not even going to go neutral. It's a thumbs down for me on this one.
For me, it's going to be neutral. I mean, I didn't like it, but I didn't hate it.
Yeah.
It did stick to the original story, which was good. It didn't try to change anything about that. But then it was like definitely some cheese in there.
Some cheesy tacos.
Yeah, like I do have to say I did like the part where she was in her house and she, when everything started being weird and the TV fell over and the floor, like the water was pouring out of the TV. Yeah. That was cool. But
yeah, I mean, there's definitely a few things that are dope about the movie. I just don't think that it's really that memorable or there's that much to it that's enjoyable. So yeah, it's whatever. I'm not a hater. I'm just not a fan. I just caught that. I didn't hear what you said, and I was looking around like, what the fuck's she talking about? And then I was, she called me a hater. Fuck. So yeah, I'm not a huge fan of that one. I'm going thumbs down. I mean, if you're a fan, she's neutral. I'm thumbs down. If you're a fan of those movies, maybe check it out. But I'm not huge into them. It was okay. Whatever. Moving on.
What ifs?
The next one that we have here is
Amityville: The Awakening from 2017, directed by Frank Calhoun.
Frank Calhoun.
Like a Chinese dish.
Some Calhoun. Calhoun.
Sounds like some beef product.
Some Calhoun. Do you want to Calhoun? Yeah, I don't know what the fuck that is, but Frank Calhoun. I wonder if it was supposed to be Calhoun. I don't think it is. I think it is Calhoun. Anyway, he is the director of Amityville: The Awakening from this year, and I actually really like this one. This one is also one of my top 10. I'm going to go 2 thumbs up on this one right off the break. I really, really liked it. There was something that was really creepy to me about the kid living in the house and having, the disability and just the way that he looked while he couldn't, he was in a coma, but the way he looked with his eyes open and his body curled up was just terrifying looking. Just very pale and emotionless and just dark eyes, dark lips, just fucking thought it was nasty looking. You know what I mean? It was terrifying. It looked creepy and it looked unnatural. You know what I mean? And just the look was that's what I was saying, where there's no gore in that movie really, but the look is terrifying and the atmosphere is creepy. Like when she does the window and the window pulls right back up behind her, I thought that was dope. There was just a few scenes in there that I thought were really cool and things that were done that stood out to me. I like the scene where they have the original movie and he's like, "You never seen this?" And was like, "Make sure you check this." And I brought over the sequels and I thought that was a cool little thing to do in the movie, and I really did enjoy this one. So like I said, 2 thumbs up for me. It is in my top 10. Very enjoyable flick. Highly recommend it. We caught this one on F Movies. Really dope release. So yeah, I was a big fan of Amityville: The Awakening. What was your thoughts on this one?
I give it 2 thumbs up as well, starting off. But Bella Thorne was back. She was also in The Babysitter. I mentioned she was the redhead one in the cheerleader. She was the cheerleader, basically.
Yeah, in the yellow outfit.
Yeah, and I told him, I said, when she stopped doing Disney, she just went straight to horror movies. Like, she stopped Disney, and the first thing she did was the Scream TV series, but she was only in the first couple episodes, I think.
Yeah, see, I thought I'd seen her face before, and you mentioned now that she was in The Babysitter, and I remember that, once I seen her face, she did look familiar. So I've seen her in a few things lately, and I gotta say, she did solid in this, and I was a little questionable at first, but I thought she had a solid performance in this. I thought it was a dope flick. What was your rating on this one?
I gave it 2 thumbs up.
2 thumbs up. So 2 thumbs up from you, 2 thumbs up from me. Highly recommend it. This one was seen on F Movies. Not really sure where else it is right now for streaming. I think I vaguely remember hearing something about it coming to Prime soon, so hopefully it hits that. This one is definitely worth checking out, especially if you're a collector. I will be getting this for the collection as soon as I can, especially since it's a franchise film. I'm super into getting all the films from franchises, so definitely worth checking out. We both like that one. Moving on to the next one, which is going to be XX from 2017, directed by Roxanne Benjamin, Annie Clark, Karen Kusama, and Jovanka Vukovic. Now, this one was okay. It has 4 different stories, each one told from a female perspective, but with an ending that'll make you want to fucking punch the directors in the throat. Chop these bitches right in their necks. Because every one of them ends with a fucking weird, just like, we're not explaining shit, goodbye. Every one of them ends with a cliffhanger like that, and I don't like that shit. Like, once in a while, one of the 4 we're at, okay, I can deal with that. But the fact that they all did that, it pissed me off. And the stories are kind of cool. Yeah. And the effects are solid. And, the movie's good in that aspect. But the endings just really killed it for me. So I'm going to go neutral in this one. I can't say I like it. Can't say I hated it. It didn't even make my top 10. I do think there's some really cool segments. The one with the box, particularly with the family, you know what I mean? Just really fucked up. And then obviously the one where it shows that creature thing hanging upside down with the red face.
Oh yeah,
that shit looked creepy. So there's a couple cool things about this movie. Nothing mind-blowing. It is a cool anthology. If you're into anthologies, definitely worth a check. This one, I believe, is on Netflix. It is a newer one. She's a huge anthology fan, so she's probably a little bit more into this one than I am, as it is on her 2017 top 10 list. So what is your thoughts on this XX flick?
First of all, it's anthology, so I'm going to like it right away. But you do have a point with the endings. I kind of like the way they did it, though, because I think you mentioned it last time we talked about it on a previous show, that it leaves it open-minded. You can think whatever you want. And...
It does, and that's what kind of gave it a little bit of saving grace for me, and maybe not hate it, is that it does leave it open for the viewer, and it leaves it to your personal interpretation. But like I said, I think it was overdone with doing it with all four. Yeah. Maybe it was intended. I mean, it probably was intentional to do that, but I ain't a huge fan of that personally. So I think they could have did away with that. So what's your rating on this one?
1 thumb up.
1 thumb from her, neutral from me. This one gets 1 thumbs up. It's on Netflix. Definitely worth checking out, but don't expect a lot from it, and be prepared for endings that will piss you off. So go ahead and hit him with the next one, which is...
The Bye-Bye Man from 2017, directed by Stacy Title. I didn't like it.
I wasn't huge on this one either. No, I don't think it was cheesy, because I remember when we watched it, we were like, it wasn't bad. And it wasn't bad. But I don't think it was good. I don't think it was great. It definitely wasn't top 10 material. It was worth a watch. This is one I think we caught on F Movies or VOD Locker or Put Locker as well. We couldn't find it streaming anywhere. It just has a vibe of just something that's been done so many times. Like, I feel like there's so many movies where it's like just a guy, just like a hooded person can't be, don't say their name, they can't be stacked, said it, or a spot or whatever, it's the same fucking story over and over again. And I get you can only do so many things in horror, there can only be so many original types of genres or whatever, and this fitting into that specific one. I'm just not huge on this one. I didn't think it was great, like I said. I'm gonna probably go neutral on this one. Like I said, I don't think it was bad. I don't think it was great. It's definitely worth a watch. I can't remember where we streamed it. Like I said, I think it was F Movies or Put Locker or something. Like I said, didn't make my top 10 either. What was your thoughts on this one?
It kind of... I feel like the director, put between... he tried to do, a Candyman type thing and a... The killer reminded me of something from... Or the killer from I Know What You Did Last Summer. The rain...
The fisherman.
Yep. The hook and everything. And then it was just like... Candyman already beat you to it. Sorry.
Bruh. You done lost that hook gauge, bruh.
And the, name thing. If you say his name 3 times... Or if you say Beetlejuice 3 times...
Yeah, there's a few of them that have that connotation with it. So you was not a big fan of the Bye Bye Man.
No.
What's your rating on this?
Neutral.
Neutral. And, yeah, I think I'm going to go neutral on this one, too. Yeah, I was considering giving it a thumb, but... yeah, I'm going to go neutral on this one. So that's both of us saying neutral. It's okay. Worth a watch, I guess. If you're into that style of film, you're not missing much if you don't catch it. So that brings us to the next one, which I did think was pretty dope, and that is Life, also from 2017, directed by Daniel Espinosa. Now, this one has a lot of big stars in it. Ryan Reynolds, Jake Gyllenhaal. There's a few other notable names in it. And, this one was cool. I thought it was a very cool concept, and I love the creature and the strangeness of it. It definitely has vibes of a bunch of different space-vibed horror movies that I've seen, and even things that are just... unknown creature kind of films. And yeah, I think it does deliver well, and I think it is a dope film. I'm gonna give it 2 thumbs up. I think it's definitely, it should have, looking back, it should have been in my top 10. It should have been.
Yeah. Over here looking at mine.
Probably 10. I probably could have put it as number 10 and switched out the one I have for 10 now, but I did want to include that because I really did have fun with it. But yeah, it probably could have been included. Very dope one. I really love the story on this and the creature and how it grows and how fucking relentless it is. Just fucked up ending, fucked up movie. And I think there is a sequel to this coming. Looking forward to that. So what was your thoughts on this one? Because I'm going 2 thumbs up on this. I do like it.
I think I would do... I don't know. I think I'm more neutral with this one because...
Really?
Yeah, it kind of... I'm not a fan of, space horror movies. Unless it's, Critters or, something coming from space, not going to space.
I can feel that.
It kind of reminded me of Apollo 18, I think it's... Or Apollo... One of those Apollo movies.
I think Apollo 18. I think you're right. Yeah, I think you are right with Apollo 18.
And it's just, I loved Apollo 18. It really creeped me out because the little thingy, you saw, glimpses of it here and there, and it looked like a big space rock spider type thing. But then it's just like multiple people have done space, alien, possibly life outside of Earth, like
Alien being one of the most notable, obviously.
Yeah, so it's like,
Yeah, it's been done before, but I do like this one. I really do recommend this one. She's going neutral on it. I'm going 2 thumbs up. I'm saying check this one out. I think it's streaming in a few different places. I can't remember exactly where we saw that one, to be honest with you.
We've seen it on online streaming.
Yeah, I think it was on F Movies or Vodlocker or something, but definitely check that one out. Which brings us into our next one, which is one that's awesome, which is...
Creep 2, directed by Patrick Bryce. Wasn't the first one out?
First one was directed by Patrick Bryce, who was the victim in the first one.
Oh.
He's the director as well, yeah. So, Creep 2 is streaming on Netflix. I believe it is a Netflix original as well, I'm pretty sure.
Just came to Netflix.
It is really fucking dope, too. I really like this one. Right off the break, I'm going to give this one 2 big thumbs up. It did make my top 10. Actually, it even made my top 5. I think this one was really well done. I think it's a great follow-up. I think it's brutal how he shows her the killing tape and just... the things that he does in it, and the ending is great too, and both the twist and then the very final twist when you realize that he's the one like on the bus, like that's fucking cool. And then like when he comes out and hits her with or she hits him with the shovel, both of those twists were great and really made the movie work for me. I definitely highly recommend it and enjoyed it. Like I said, 2 thumbs up for this. I like the first one as well. This one continues the story and touches back on the first one in some really cool ways. He's definitely a fucking big creep in this one too. And the guy that plays the lead character is just really amazing. Real quality stuff from him. So highly recommend this one. If you haven't checked it out yet, check out Creep 2. What's your thoughts on this one?
Well, first of all, before I get into my thoughts, if you liked him in Creep, you'll like... He's in Lazarus Effect. He's one of the main characters.
Shit.
Yep.
Okay, so that's one that I bought on DVD recently, or Blu-ray.
Yep.
And it was fucking cracked, which pisses me off, so... I guess I'm going to have to try to find that somewhere else. It doesn't necessarily mean it's not going to work, though, because only the inside of the ring is cracked.
It's on Netflix, too, if that doesn't play. So.
Yeah, true. But I have it in my collection, and I might end up just trashing it if it doesn't work. But I do want to at least try it before we trash it.
Yeah, but compared to the first one, I think this one is better. The second one is better. When they're having the interview and... Already off the break, she explains what she does. She runs in like a YouTube channel, Encounters or something like that, where she goes and meets random people. She meets off Craigslist and stuff like that. Off the break, that's like a deal breaker for me right there, because people on Craigslist and eBay are creepy anyway.
eBay? On eBay?
There's
what
always
the fuck?
There's creeps on eBay. You know it.
Yeah, but what's eBay have to do with anything?
I'm saying, like, because it's somewhere where you meet some like bartering and whatnot.
Yeah,
it's like Craigslist and stuff. It's online shopping. And you can meet up to swap.
I've never. You can. I know that you can.
I know.
I've
never done it.
I know that they do have a pickup option for eBay. That if somebody's close to you, you can go pick it up. But I don't know. And I've never done that with Craigslist. I don't trust the idea. It just sounds so shady. Like.
Exactly.
Meet me behind the dumpster in the alley at 11:30 so we can trade computer parts.
Yeah,
like,
no,
nah, bruh.
Thanks.
Like, I'm good on that, you fucking weirdo.
How about we meet at McDonald's at 3:00 in the afternoon?
I'm good on that, you fucking creep.
No, okay, but there's that, and then he flat out told her, I'm a murderer.
And then showed her the video.
And showed her in video. She's like, all right, let's do this. Like, bitch, you stupid. Like, get out. But,
yeah, it was pretty crazy. And I do like the concept in this one and how they utilize the first one. It very, very much so has a vibe of Human Centipede with how they use the footage from the first one and reference it. Obviously, the stories are totally different, but the reference with part 2 with Martin... watching the first film and getting ideas from it. This is cool because it shows clips from the first film and him talking about, the same characters. So obviously there's a cool connotation and connection there that I really liked and enjoyed. But I thought Creep 2 was really dope. 2 thumbs up from me. 2 thumbs up from you. Mm-hmm. So this one is universally 4 thumbs up total from us. Definitely recommend it. This is available on Netflix for stream right now, so check that one out. Bringing us into our next one, which is going to be The Big 47 Meters Down from 2017, directed by Johannes Roberts. And 48 Meters Down is in the works right now, the sequel. However, we're talking about 47 meters down, so let's discuss this one. Now, I like this one. This one actually made my top 10. I'm going to right off the break give it 2 big thumbs up. I am not crazy about shark movies, and I've seen a lot of them, and I like a lot of the ones I've seen, but they don't just like entrance me, you know what I mean? Like, I respect the good ones, but there's a lot of trash ones out there and a lot of B movies. This one is not that. This one is really dope and terrifying, and I love the hallucination scenes and the you know, her thinking she's getting out and coming to fruition, and she's not. I love the size and the mass of the shark. That it's not ridiculous, but he's still huge. The ending with the kill is very gratifying. Opens it up for a sequel. I love the way the shark meets his end. You know, when he rams into the ground, that's just so fucking brutal. But yeah, really fucking dope movie. I really like this one. I thought it was phenomenal. I'm going 2 big thumbs up on this one. Highly enjoyable. Highly recommend it. Don't remember where we watched this one. I think did we Redbox this one?
Yes.
Yeah, I think we Redboxed this one a while back. But I really liked it. What was your thoughts on this one?
First of all, I'm scared of water. Big bodies of water. Like,
the unknown.
I've never gone boating. I've never gone like deep sea diving, like stuff like that. And that's basically what they did. They went deep sea diving, and it was supposed to be a good time. And then all of a sudden, it's like, oh, let's go downhill, or in this case, like down to the bottom of the sea floor. So there's that. Shit. Yeah, and it's like the deeper you go, the more pressure. It's like, I don't think I could stand that much pressure. I already have asthma. I have breathing problems, so probably like getting down there, I'd probably die.
Yeah, I could imagine with breathing problems, or like with me, I'm claustrophobic. I do not like tight spaces. I don't like going underwater. Like, I can do it. Like, it doesn't bother me going underwater, I guess. But the idea of diving, even if I had gear, I don't think I could do it.
Yeah.
And it's not because of fear of water or what's down there. It's the fear of I would freak the fuck out if I got down there and my oxygen ran out. Like, even though you have a decent bit of time to get up because, you know, you can swim and obviously you can hold your breath and shit, and the air doesn't just stop. Like, it slowly runs out, and you kind of have a forewarning. But if something went faulty and it didn't let me know, and then like I started like having to gasp, like I would lose my shit. Like, I would not be able to deal with it, and that's what keeps me away from being able to do it. Like, I know I could probably dive somewhere where I was going maybe 20, 30 feet down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where it's a little bit deep, but not like to where something happened and I ran out and my oxygen ran out, I could comfortably swim to the top without having to worry about it. I don't think I could do no 50, 100, 200 plus feet dive where I'm going deep, and nah, I don't think I could do that. It'd be too much for me.
I think my main thing, like you said, would be like freaking out, because I have really bad anxiety. So the first time, like, I can't move or whatnot. And they mentioned the bends, if you swim up too fast, that would be my thing. Because if I can't like breathe or anything and I start freaking out in the middle of an ocean, and that's where my anxiety comes in. And
then
boom,
you could die from that. You could die from the fucking bends because your body, it goes to your brain
bubbles.
And shit. Yep.
Yeah.
So that's definitely something you got to keep an eye out for, and definitely sets the stage for a horrific time. So 47 meters down to me was very terrifying. 2 big thumbs up. Highly recommend it. We caught this on Redbox. Not sure where it's streaming right now. What was your recommendation on this one? Your rating? 2 thumbs up from her. 2 thumbs up from me. For Universal. We both like this one. Check it out. Very dope if you're into nature horror films. So moving on to the next one, we have.
We're gonna talk about Leatherface. I know you guys are excited about that.
Yeah.
Directed by Julian Murray and
Alexandre Bustillo.
See these fancy ass names, whatnot.
Foreign names with your pronunciation and spellings.
And whatnot.
So, this one is hit and miss for me because I don't think it's a bad movie. I don't think it's a good movie.
It's not as good as it was put out to be.
It's probably, to me, the weakest entry in the franchise, to be honest with you. And I'm not real satisfied with how they made Leatherface, like, I don't know, he's not what I expected him to be, and not how I expected him to look. I almost would have felt better if the fat kid would have been Leatherface, but I still don't feel like even him I don't think the heavyset kid really embodied it either. Like, I don't think...
See, it seemed like they tried to make it seem like it was him. Because
They did. They
he
definitely
has
did.
the body structure. He's hunched over.
Yep.
He has the
Big,
hair.
yep.
And he, you know, he did have a deformity in his face.
Did he?
Yeah.
I didn't even notice that.
There was that. He was being picked on. Like,
Yeah, I know he had
that's
something
what I
like
was-
mentally,
Yeah.
and that makes sense too, because Leatherface always kind of comes off as a little bit slow, like childish, kind of almost in his features. So,
Yeah.
I definitely thought that, you know, like I said, it wasn't a bad movie. I just don't think it was great. I'm gonna go neutral on this one, to be honest. I don't think it didn't make my top 10. It didn't deliver what I wanted to. And that's sad because Texas Chainsaw is one of my favorite franchises, period. Very, very high up. It's probably my second favorite franchise. We're going to ignore that phone ringing because I don't give any fucks. And I'm sorry that happened during our show. But I really don't feel like fucking having to re-record shit for a ringing phone. And we're going to just keep it going because I'm fucking pissed off about somebody calling my house in the middle of the day. No, don't you dare call my house. So, moving right along, Leatherface is definitely worth checking out if you're a fan, but don't be expecting a lot from this one. We caught this one on F Movies as well. This one is pretty new. I think it just hit Blu-ray recently. I will be getting it just because I'm a collector and I want to have all in the franchise, but man, I was a little let down by this one, and I don't think there was enough Leatherface action in it.
Yeah.
I don't think there was. I understand it's a backstory and they're trying to explain shit, but I think it gave more of a story of that sheriff than anything, and the mom and the family more so than him himself. So, like I said, this isn't bad. It's worth checking out, but don't expect a whole lot from this one. I'm going neutral on this one. What's your rating and thoughts? One thumb. What did you think of this one?
Like you said, I feel like the trailers, like always, put out more hype than what the actually move like.
What the movie delivers.
You sit down and watch it, and it's just like, why was the trailer so awesome? But the movie is ass. The movie wasn't ass though. I shouldn't have said that, but it wasn't what I thought it was.
No.
It wasn't what I expected.
It's not what I wanted either for a prequel story for him either.
Yeah.
Like, I had a lot better, grimier vision for it. But who knows? Maybe it'll get rebooted again. Maybe they'll do a new prequel.
I think it's cool how they showed how, like, why he started wearing the mask.
Yeah, that's cool.
I always thought it was, like I said, he was born with it, but...
Well, I knew he wasn't born with it, with you know, a deformity. Well, I didn't necessarily know that he wasn't born with it, but I knew that it was going to be something grimy, you know what I mean, for his backstory of why he had to wear the mask. I knew it would be something really cool, and I'm glad they did include that. I wish that his character would have been a little bit different. I don't know. I wish it would have been more sadistic and grimy than what they made him.
Yeah.
But I get it. It's his beginning, and they didn't want to make him completely batshit. They wanted to have some humanity left in him before they took that route. So I get that. But yeah, that's our thoughts on Leatherface. 1 thumbs up total. It's worth a watch if you're a fan of the franchise. Definitely some brutality in it and gore, but nothing, you know, groundbreaking. Not amazing. Worth a watch if you're a fan of the films. Brings us to the next one, which is one that I actually did like, which is Jackals, also from 2017, directed by Kevin Greutert. Or Greutert.
I am Groot.
Greutert. I am Greutert. So, right off the break, I'm going to give this one 1 thumbs up. I liked it. I didn't love it. It was a dope home invasion movie, and I thought it was pretty sinister. Really cool concept of having the kid kind of brainwashed by this cult so much that he's willing to say fuck his whole family and choose this cult over them, which he ultimately does. The ending is pretty savage. I could see them doing a sequel to it. I definitely think that it was left open for another one. I did enjoy this one. Like I said, I gave it a thumbs up. It did not make my top 10 of the year, but it was definitely dope. It could have made it to the 10 slot, maybe. It was kind of close, but it just quite didn't have enough, you know, inspiration or originality to it, because we have seen these types of films done several times, home invasion films, you know, things like Purge and stuff like that. So it's nothing really new. It's just a kind of a cool take on it. by having like a cult behind it, and you know, having the kid all fucked up, and the film doesn't go in the direction you think it's going to go when it first comes on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I thought the people that pick him up in the van were going to be the villains, not the good, not the good
Trying
guys.
to help him.
Yeah, so you totally get like a whole different fucking vibe out of it after it gets a few minutes in. But I like Jackals. I'm giving this one thumbs up. What was your thoughts and rating on this one?
I thought it was like a drug intervention. Like, that was my whole thing, like my thought the whole movie, and it was just like, oh, well, you're part of this cult trying to give you're a fuck boy.
You
like,
fuck ass motherfucker, you.
I was like, you need to die. I hope you die a gruesome death.
A gruesome and savage end.
When you hate those characters, that's the first thing you wish upon them, is like, I know you're gonna die, I just hope it's gruesome.
I hope you get fucking murked, motherfucker. Tamas is coming for you, thug lifestyle. Forever with my gat.
Boom.
50 Cent is my uncle.
Oh my god. Anyway.
I'm cocking hammers.
My rating on this, it could be one thumb though.
One thummy.
One
thumb from her, one thumb from me. That's 2 total universal on this one. We both enjoyed this one. It's good. It's not great or amazing, but it's definitely worth a watch. I do want to get this in the collection. I think we caught this one on
Netflix.
Was it on Netflix?
I think so.
Yeah, I think this is on Netflix. I think you're right. This one was dope, though, so check out Jackals if you're into home invasion horror. Definitely fits that. We get into the next one, which is going to be
The Void from 2017, directed by Jeremy Gillespie and Steve
Kostansky.
Steve Kostansky. Russian monkey.
So, The Void. Now, this one I think is absolutely amazing. I think this one smashed 2017. It had amazing effects. It had a cool-ass soundtrack, a great storyline, an original concept, an original story, tons of Lovecraft vibes, John Carpenter vibes. This one fucking blew me away, and I really, really liked it. Even though the ending is the only thing I think is a little disappointing is the ending is kind of like, okay. But I got it. It was just kind of, it wasn't what I wanted not what I wanted it to be. But that's the only flaw to me in this movie is the ending. But man, the effects, the kills, the brutality, the savagery, the makeup is just fucking sinister as fuck and just grimy and super sci-fi. I love the cult. I love the look of the cult, how they have the knives and the fucking the cloaks with the triangle face. It stands out and it's very original to me. And so many nods to 80s films and just culture in general from the 80s. I think they did a phenomenal job with that and really making it stand out and making it something special. I highly enjoyed this one. Highly recommend this one. 2 massive thumbs up. This one is 100% worth checking out. I believe this was on Netflix as well, so it still should be available for streaming. What were your thoughts on The Void?
Well, first of all, I would give my rating, which is 1 thumb. # sorry, not sorry.
Get the fuck out of my house. Podcast is over. I fucking quit. Get out of my house. Get out of my house.
But honestly, it kind of, now that like Stranger Things is out, that's what it reminds me of. Because there's like an alternate world, empty world. There's goblins and monsters and stuff that come from that world, really. What, right?
I don't think they're necessarily goblins. They are like, they're creatures. They're just like, these weird beings. These fucking almost Cthulhu-like, Cthulhu / The Thing type monsters. Very alien-esque, unknown, Cthulhu, Lovecraftian style monsters, for sure.
Well, those monsters were creepy. So, there's that. But I guess it's okay, because it was kind of like a dark, like, heaven type, because they died before they got to the void.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like they're roaming, like, their spirits are roaming Earth because they don't know which way to go, like, that type of thing. And
yeah, that's why I said it has a very strange ending that kind of leaves things open. You don't really understand the ending 100%. We had a look online, if you remember, we looked at the ending explained.
They explained it, yeah.
And kind of, seeing what other people thought and how they interpreted it, because it is a very hard film to interpret near the end. But I really like this one. I'm saying 2 big thumbs up. Highly recommend it. She's got 1 thumbs up for it. That's 3 total universal. We really like this one. Definitely check it out. It's on Netflix. Check that stream out. Let us know what you think in the group. Moving on to the next one, which is a pretty cool one. This is House on Willow Street, also from 2017, directed by Alistair Orr. Now, the concept in this one has been done before, but I think it has an original twist of they, break into a house. It's a home invasion film, but they end up breaking into the house of like a demon. And this fucking demon basically is in the body of a chick. And they get into her fucking world, and she is just ready to lay down the smackdown on all of them. And she is extremely manipulative and strong and fucking intelligent, and she just is merciless. And I love that. I love when they use a female character to be the villain, because typically women are viewed as the softer, weaker side, not as strong as a man, not as dangerous as a man, not as much of a threat as a man, typically.
Yeah.
But I love when they have the woman be the villain, because it twists things right on its fucking head, and it shows you a woman can be just as much, if not more of a villain than any man can, and can terrify the fuck out of you.
I was gonna say
Audition, Misery. I mean, there's a bunch of movies that have that lead female villain, you know what I mean, that makes you go, holy shit.
People underestimate the power
of the woman, yes. And this definitely has that connotation to it. This definitely is a movie that makes you go, wow, like, she is not fucking playing around. She will fuck you up. And she does through the whole movie. She's a super savage, and I enjoyed this one. Like I said, I don't think it's a great one or amazing. I'm going to go 1 thumbs up. I did like it. I didn't love it. This is another one that we caught on Netflix. It is still streaming, I believe. What was your thoughts on this one?
I don't know. I'm kind of iffy, so I guess I'll be neutral with it.
Okay.
I don't know. It was just like, it's not what I expected. House on Willow Street. Yeah, I get the invasion, like, sense in it, but then I also get, like, possession, haunted house type thing from the title. So it's like, oh, I didn't want... No, take it back.
Oh, this is not what I was expecting in this can.
This is not what I paid for. No, but so.
Yeah, I definitely think that with a vague title like that, there's a million ways it could have been. It could have been an invasion. It could have been slasher. It could have been supernatural. It could have been a bunch of different things, and it's really kind of none of those. It's, more of a possession, demonic, satanic type horror film than anything with home invasion. So it kind of is home invasion, but kind of not.
Yeah.
And, like I said, I did like it. I'm going to give this one 1 thumbs up. You're neutral on this one?
Mm-hmm.
So that's 1 thumbs up total. I believe this still is on Netflix, like I said. So it is worth a watch. I wouldn't necessarily, it's worth a buy.
Yeah.
I'd pick it up if I saw it at a pawn shop cheap, but that is House on Willow Street, directed by Alistair Orr. Which brings us to the final movie that we watched in 2017. We had 4 others we tried to watch, which I'll quickly mention, which was Annabelle Creation, Raw, Happy Hunting, and what was the 4th one? Oh, we didn't watch it. I wanted to watch it. Jigsaw.
Yeah,
which was one we tried to find, but we could only find camera bootlegs, and I don't do camera bootlegs, so we haven't seen that yet. So those movies aren't in here because we haven't seen them. And I know that's 2 big ones, Annabelle and Jigsaw, which are 2 huge ones. That's why they're not in our list or not in the show, because we didn't get a chance to check them. And I am looking forward to Jigsaw, and I will say that what I seen from Raw was really good, and what I saw from Annabelle was really good. Especially that intro with the car. Holy fuck. But yeah, we didn't get a chance to check out the others.
See, I can say about the cam, you were talking about the cam footage and whatnot. I can tolerate it, but it's the type of cam, like, recording where you can see the silhouettes
of people sitting, and the angle isn't even directly on. It's like angled. It's like panned.
Yeah. So.
And the audio's fucked too, because it's obviously a bootleg. Yeah. It's just not a really well done bootleg. I've seen some really good bootlegs where you can't see anyone. The audio's decent, and the picture quality's steady and good, and it's close and directly on it.
Yeah.
But even then, I still don't like doing them. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and get into the last film on our list, which is
Jeepers Creepers 3, Directed by Victor Salva.
Ah, yes. So this is a controversial one, as we've talked about before, with Victor Salva being a pedophile and just being a sick fuck. But it didn't stop me from checking out this movie.
Yeah.
We caught this on F Movies, right?
Yep.
Yeah, we caught this on F Movies. I know it was on Sci-Fi, and it's probably streaming in a bunch of other places. This one actually did make my top 10 list. And I really did like this one. I know it didn't make your top list,
No.
but I really did like this one. There's a few cheesy elements with some bad CGI, but overall, there's some really cool things with the vehicle in it and the Creeper's truck that I really loved and I thought were brilliant. Just some of the things they did in this movie I think are really well done and really cool, and I love getting some of the backstory, although I still don't know what he is. We still don't really know what he actually is.
But they do mention that they've seen, like...
They know what he is.
Yeah, they know.
People in the
seen
film know what he is, but we don't know what he is. And I love the return characters with the sheriff and with the other guy that helped out, even though he gets killed. And then the son of the character coming back from part 2. There was just some cool nods and homages to the earlier films that were really great. I didn't like some of the CGI, like I said, but it wasn't enough to kill the movie for me. A lot of people dumped on this one and said it was shit. I don't see it being shit. I don't think it was great, but I definitely think it was dope. I'm going to give this a very strong thumb up, almost 2 thumbs up. Almost 2 thumbs up.
So a thumb and a nub.
A thumb and a nub. And it did make my top 10, and I did really like this one, regardless of Victor Salva's past or what person he is. I don't look at that. I'm looking at the film itself, and I like the film. What were your thoughts on this one?
I'm a fan of the first 2, so I was excited to see this, but it wasn't it wasn't as exciting as I thought. Like, people, like I said, it was hyped up to be, and then it was just like, oh, what the fuck is this?
Well, see, now I don't agree with that 100% because I heard a lot of... But see, we talk to different people, we hear different things. I heard a lot of people shitting on it. So I actually was expecting much worse than what I saw because I heard people saying, oh, it's trash, it was fucking garbage, it was blah, blah, blah. So I was expecting to see a fucking shit fest, and I didn't see a shit fest. I saw a pretty decently put together film that I enjoyed. I do think that the cuts between the commercials made it a little weird.
Yeah.
Even though there was no commercials in it, watching when the cuts happened, they came in and out in weird places, and it felt like some of the movie was missing maybe. But I liked it. I did like it. I did enjoy it, and I think there will be probably a Jeepers Creepers 4, and you bet your sweet ass I'll go check it. And when this one drops on Blu-ray or DVD, I will cop it and get it. I do want to see this one again. I did like it, and I would love to have an unrated version of it or a better quality version than the one that we ended up seeing. But yeah, so what was your rating on this one?
I'll give it a 1 thumb, but it's only because of... See, it kind of would have had like a thumb and a half, thumb and a nub and whatnot. But like I mentioned it throughout the movie, the outfit. He didn't have the same hat as the other 2. He didn't have...
The shirt color was black, I think, in the last... I don't remember it being that bright red.
He didn't even have a shirt in the other ones.
Was just the cloak?
It was just
the jacket?
Jacket, yeah. Because of the wings. He always stripped the jacket off when he flew in the other ones.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like continuity issues, but other than that, it was good to me.
Yeah, the CGI was my big issue. Not so much the continuity. It was mainly the CGI. Had a few shoddy parts, but some of the CGI was pretty solid too. And I really, really love what they did with the truck. So I enjoyed this one. I recommend it. A thumb and a half up for me. 1 thumb up from her. It's 2.5 with a nub total. Universal on this one. So definitely recommend it. It'll be hitting a bunch of outlets soon, and I know it's coming to Blu-ray. If it hasn't already dropped on Blu-ray, it is coming. So I think it actually did just drop on Blu-ray, actually, if I'm correct. But definitely keep an eye peeled for that one, Jeepers Creepers 3, directed by Victor Salva. Now, that about wraps up everything for our Vital Organs discussion. However, we are going to give our top 10 list, which is going to round out things for the Vital Organs, and then obviously we'll hit you with that poll of the week and our results from last week. So, without further ado, we're just going to run through these. We're not going to discuss them too much. I'm just going to speak on my number 1 briefly. You can do the same, and we'll just plow through these. So, for me, number 10, Jeepers Creepers 3. Number 10, Jeepers Creepers 3. I'm not going into details. Number 9, The Belko Experiment. Number 8, Amityville: The Awakening. 7, The Babysitter. 6, 47 Meters Down. 5, Get Out. 4, Creep 2. 3, It Chapter 1. Number 2, Gerald's Game. And my number 1 pick for 2017, my favorite horror film from this year, The Void. That's right. This one was an independent, sci-fi, Cthulhian, Lovecraftian horror ode fest. I absolutely loved this one. Thought it was great. Loved the soundtrack, the effects, the acting was solid. The premise was great. The story was original. Kept me intrigued the entire time from start to finish. Very dope movie. Great pacing. Awesome story. Really, really cool flick. That is my top film of the year, The Void. What about you? What's your top 10?
Oh. You guys can fuck off, by the way, just in advance. Whatever, because he was like, oh, you're going to get some hate. I don't care. You guys are not me, so.
Meow.
Whatever. My 10, XX, because I am an anthology fan, so. But.
Fuck them. That's right. Number 9.
9, Get Out. 8, The Theta Girl. And I did mention I really like that one, so.
Very dope. Shouts out to Chris Bickle.
Woo! Number 7 was It. And number 6 was Cult of Chucky. And that's where he said you guys would get me whatever. I don't care about you opinions because nobody asked
I didn't say people would bitch for you putting Cult in your top 10. I said people
Cult
would bitch.
Above It.
Yeah, putting Cult above It, I'm sure people are going to bitch about. But whatever, fuck them.
Fuck you. Number 5 was Gerald's Game because I'm a Stephen King's fan. Number 4 was Happy Death Day. 3 was Split. This one is like, I don't know whether to switch or whatnot. So this one was kind of tough. My number 2 was a pick between Little Evil and Amityville, and so was my number 1. I don't really know which order those would go in right now.
You gotta pick. Gotta pick. Yeah.
No.
What's your number 2?
No.
Got to.
No.
What's your number 2?
I don't know. I think it would be Little Evil, to be honest.
So your number 1 is Amityville: The Awakening.
Yeah, I think this was like, in my opinion, this was the best movie Bella Thorne has done. She's done Scream and she's done The Babysitter, but this was like the first serious horror movie that I've seen her in, and it was a great performance. To be honest.
Was, and I like this one, and it made my top 10 as well. This film did really surprise me, and I did enjoy it. It was my number 8. It's your number 1. So we actually had a lot of similars, a couple that were different, but a lot of similar movies that we both thoroughly enjoyed this year. Had a lot of great surprises and a lot of dope films to come out. I'm super amped for this year, the big 2018. We got a shitload of dope movies coming, and we talk about that in our poll that's coming up.
Yes.
We will be back in just a moment to get into that poll and last week's results and also hit you with the final chapter. So don't go nowhere. Drop that big fucking deuce.
Don't.
Yeah.
Stop.
Drop that dirty shit log, son. Let that fucking poo-poo swirly in your bowlie. You know what I'm saying? You know when you take that big shit and it swirls around the bowl like an ice cream?
Goodbye, babe.
We'll be back in just a moment with all kinds of swirly shits.
Wake up, kiddies. There's no time to sleep.
It's time for the poll of the week.
Hey there, guys. You're such a loudmouth. Anyway, welcome to your poll, I guess.
Poll of the week.
Shut up.
She took my poll.
Jeez. Okay, anyway, this is the poll results from episode 9, which was the Christmas special. It's crazy how it's already 2018, huh?
Yeah.
Alright.
Happy 2018, motherfuckers.
Woo! We need one of those little blowout things, the paper,
Oh, the New Year's whistle.
Yeah. The question was, what is your favorite Christmas-themed horror movie? We had 16 votes for Gremlins. Who doesn't love the little furry gizmo animals?
That's right. Mugwise. Little Mugwise.
Yeah. I call them gizmos.
Gizmo is the name of him. Mugwise is the name of the creature.
I call them gizmos.
As I look over at our little Gizmo oil painting on the wall.
That's awesome.
Shouts out to Chroma.
Boom. Black Christmas got 6 votes. Silent Night, Deadly Night got 3. Christmas Evil got 1. And there was also some add-ins. 42, Better Watch Out, Silent Night, Santa's Sleigh, and Jack Frost from 1997. I haven't seen any of the... Well, yes, I have. I can't lie. Santa's Sleigh. I think that was the only one, right?
Yeah, we watched Santa's Sleigh.
Yeah. So, but other than that, I haven't seen any of them that's on this list. Well, you know, the ones I just freaking mentioned.
Freaking mention it!
A Nightmare Before Christmas, which I was shocked that no one voted for that one.
Kind of surprised that one didn't get no votes either.
Elves got 0. To All a Good Night got 0. And I believe that is it. One movie that we were going to check out was called The Elf, and I guess it's based on Elf on a Shelf. We decided not to even watch it after watching the trailer because it looked like straight cheeseball.
Straight shit trash. Shit was fucking garbage. It was like a low-grade Puppet Master.
Yeah.
With a fucking elf. It was fucking horrible. And I like Puppet Master. That shit looked like a bad Puppet Master. Like, what the fuck?
So...
What did you vote for in this
I voted for Gremlins.
I also voted for Gremlins. So there's the big reveal for what we voted for last week. So what is the poll for this week? Hit them with what we got for this week.
What is your most anticipated 2018 release? The Nun, Insidious, The Last Key, Halloween Returns, The Predator, which I hope is kind of good since now it's owned by Disney. If it sucks, I'm blaming Disney. I mean, I've said it.
Fuck y'all, Disney.
A Quiet Place, The Purged, The Island. I didn't even know that was coming out. Winchester, The Strangers 2, Day of the Dead Bloodline, and The Return of Killer Clowns from Outer Space in 3D.
Boom. A lot of dope choices in there, and we've already dropped our votes for this next week's poll. However, we will not be telling you what it is. You'll have to tune in next week to find out what both of us voted for, which we will reveal next week, and hit you with another poll to get active. So make sure you're going into our Facebook group and getting active with the group and getting into these polls, or pick your poisons, our guessing games. There's a lot of different things that we do to try to keep you guys active and busy, and we are going to be doing a giveaway very soon. I'm not sure what I'm going to do it for. Perhaps something for New Year's. Maybe a New Year giveaway. We'll do something real soon. I have a box of DVDs that I have specifically for contests. Really dope stuff in there too. So maybe we'll do a little contest here soon. Keep your eyes peeled for that on the page. I think that about wraps up everything for this week's poll and from last week's poll, which brings us to the end of the show, which this is the final chapter.
Dun dun dun. I want to mention something too.
Silence.
Shoot. There was something. It was about a movie. Continue.
Damn.
I'll probably
all that
remember
build up
it.
for fucking nothing?
I'll remember
What kind of fuck ass shit is that? Fuck ass.
I'll remember it somehow.
Any fucking way. This is our final chapter. We thank you for tuning in to another almost 2-hour long episode of Horror Headquarters. I've been your host, Klive Kraven, with my lovely co-host.
It's Naya, the Forgetful Panda.
The Forgetful Panda. We appreciate you guys spending this time sitting down, going over all these 2017 dope horror flicks that came out. Make sure that you follow us on Instagram. We have an Instagram now, which is just Horror Headquarters. You can also follow us on Facebook and join our group, which is The Horror Headquarters on Facebook. And we are working on a horrorheadquarters.com official website that's going to be legit as fuck. And it's going to have all kinds of dope interactive features. All kinds of shit to get involved with. All kinds. So make sure you follow that. Make sure you check out the website. Get active on the Facebook page. Like us up, share us out to your friends, tell your friends about the group, add your friends to the group. We always love seeing new faces. Make sure you come back next week for big episode 11. I am not 100% sure what we're doing next week. I will announce it tomorrow at some point. I don't want to say what it is right now. I know there's 2 or 3 franchises that it could be. I'm just not 100% sure. We have the list written down, but we will be announcing it this week. Also, make sure you vote for that poll for this week. By the time this episode drops, that poll will already be up in the chat, so make sure you drop your vote. Get involved. Get into our next episode. Once again, this has been Klive Kraven and my lovely co-host,
Naya.
That's right. We will catch y'all on episode 11. Thanks again for tuning in to Horror Headquarters, and we are just dying to talk horror.
Happy New Year, people.
Happy New Year, 2018, motherfucker!